everyone. I'm going to keep working on these picky pads here that I haven't finished, but I wanted to do a bit of a longer video than the last two that I've done that have been a lot shorter. So I'll get started on these, but I wanted to talk about, and I'm probably saying this wrong. You know me. Y'all know me now. I say things probably wrong, but who cares, right? I don't care. No, that's not true. I do care. But yeah, so first of all, I wanted to talk about this show that I just started watching with my son and my husband. We used to watch Breaking Bad together and Better Call Saul. And so now we watch this show, and I'm gonna read it, but I think it's called Pluribus. Is that what it is? Okay, Pluribus. I mean, I think that's how you would say it. And it's from the creator and writer and director. I think he does all of those things, honestly. I do. I think he is a genius. And I forget his name. Sorry. Vince Gilligan. Is that right? That sounds right. Vince Gilligan. Yeah, so I think that man is a genius. Wow, the writing. Just, I mean, even just the subtleties of, you know, not, no dialogue and just the actor on their own, like solo performance is fascinating and just keeps you just watching, and you would think, you know, anyone else doing this would say, oh, this is just not gonna work, but it works so well. But anyway, okay, so if you haven't started watching this, please start. But then also, if you don't want the show spoiled for you, stop listening. Isn't that just doesn't make sense, because I want you to listen so that you can fall asleep. But I just also don't want to ruin this show for you. So I'm gonna get into it. Right now, Pluribus. So it starts out with some like alien code, I think it is, something like that, that they capture, scientists capture, and they are trying to decipher it. Okay, I'm probably gonna mess this up because I should have really researched exactly what happens at the beginning of this, because it's a bit confusing how, for me, how they go from like this sound to trying to decipher what's being said or what the message is from this like information they're getting from, and they think that it's like very old and that they're just now discovering it, something like that, right? So they go from this message or sound or whatever, and they have like this breakthrough. This guy figures out that it's something that they can, I guess, suddenly make into some kind of bacteria or virus. I'm not sure exactly, but what happens is they end up putting it into, I think it's mice or rats. Okay, it's probably rats. And they show like all these cages, like a lot of cages, and then they show two scientists who are, they have on all the gear to protect themselves. Okay, I'm trying to remember if, okay, so one of the scientists notices that one of the rats is like dead, or, I mean, it's just not moving. It's just like not doing anything. So the scientist thinks it's a woman. There's a man and a woman in there. The scientist, the woman, I think she still has on her gear and everything. She goes, she takes that rat out of its cage. That should have been a no-no, right? You would think. So she takes the rat out of the cage, and it was pretending to sleep, and it bites her. And so her gear is not thick enough. Of course this would happen. This is true. This would happen. This is how society, this is how people work. They don't wear something that's going to protect them. I don't know why I went straight to this. It made me think of Tupac. Like, why in the heck, if he's like, getting in fights and having all these confrontations with people who you shouldn't have confrontations with if you want to live, why he's driving around Vegas in a car that is not bulletproof, I just don't understand. I mean, you're making all this money, right? And and the driver of the car is making a lot of money. They have money. They're driving around in a car that's not bulletproof. I mean, what? So I just don't understand that. So people, I understand. Well, now it's funny. I understand why this scientist wasn't, like, she was covered in to protect her from something that was in the air, right? Or bodily, or like saliva from the rat or whatever. But I mean, you don't think about a bite going through your, whatever you have on your protective gear. But I mean, I could see it now, my Tupac reference. Okay. But anyway. Okay, so, right, so she gets bit, correct? And, it goes through the suit, and then so she's immediately affected. It shows her like all affected, and it's like really creepy. Basically no longer human. There's this one scene, oh my gosh, it's so gross, where, okay, so she wants to infect, okay, so she wants to infect a coworker. She kisses the coworker, but to infect all the other coworkers that are going to be coming in the morning, she licks like over and over and over again these donuts that are, set up to be given to the her coworkers, to the other employees coming into the building in the morning. Just disgusting, gross to me out, but still, yeah, I get it. But the okay, so like the rules are, okay, once the infected are infected, they're no longer individuals. Like they no longer have their own identity. They're all one so everyone that's infected becomes of one mind, not one body. Everyone has their own body, but they no longer have their own mind. They no longer have their own personality. They're not individuals any longer. They're of one mind, okay? Hey, I think I did a pretty good job explaining that. So, then so out of all the people, and a lot of people die. A lot of people die. They don't take to the virus. Well, they die. But there's still like many people left in the world that are infected and doing and living and surviving. But there are, is it 13? It's like 12. I think it's 13 people in the world are immune to the virus, and they are still themselves and living amongst the ones that are not, that are of one mind now. So, but what's really fascinating are the rules that these new, I'm going to say, entities live by. So they live by all these rules, don't cause any harm, things like that. But the one with the don't cause any harm is very difficult to live by, because meaning they can't even like pull an apple from a tree, because the apple and the tree to them are living, and so they cannot harm the apple and they cannot harm the tree. They can eat the apple once it's fallen off the tree, but they can't like shake the tree to get it to fall. They have to wait for it to fall, and then they can eat the apple. So that leads to some interesting ways for them to try to get nutrients. So yeah, and it's so great because this Vince Gilligan dude, I mean, he has an affinity here. He just really loves New Mexico and Albuquerque, where Breaking Bad was set, where Better Call Saul, same, and now this show. Just fascinating. I mean, I guess too, if you have grown up and lived there, I don't know if that's the case. I don't know. He has to have some connection, right? So I guess if you, I was born in Minnesota, and I remember Minnesota, it was wonderful growing up there, but then I moved here to Arizona when I was 7, and Arizona, even though it's probably going to become uninhabitable, I laugh, but that's like a sad laugh. Sad laugh, that doesn't make sense. Anxious laugh. Okay. Anyway, it's sad because in the next, I think, 10, maybe longer, but at least 10 years, it's going to be so hot here. But then I also start thinking to myself, there are people living in other places, they live there, where it gets super duper hot, just like it does here, right? And they survive. So I don't know what's gonna happen here. Maybe those other places though have plenty of water. We struggle for water here, so yeah, I don't know. Anyway, but I still have such a love for this state, like I grew up here, so many great memories, and just thinking of leaving and settling down somewhere else makes me think, would I feel at home, or would I constantly feel like this place isn't home? I don't know. I mean, because I may be forced to leave if it gets bad here, if it becomes a place that groups, especially the elderly here, suffer. And a lot of them die, and people die because it's so hot, and they live with it, or actually, they eventually don't live with it, they die. They're suffering because it gets so bad. So, I say this because everyone, it's December, and yesterday, no lie, it was basically, I think it was 80 degrees yesterday. And today, I think they're forecasting 83 degrees. 83 degrees in December is, for me, way too warm. I mean, I have to just say it. It is just crazy that it's going to be 83 degrees today, and it's December, right? But hey, I can try to be somewhat positive and say at least I'm not back in Texas where it could get warm, and then you're dealing with humidity on top of that, right? Humidity. I remember one time, I probably said this before, where my girlfriend curled my hair and I went down to go put the baby car seats in the car and came back and my hair was flat again. That's Texas for you. And don't get me started on the critters and the bugs, the cockroaches. No. Oh my goodness. To fall asleep to all these creatures and just shut the light out and pray that, because yeah, no, it was not fun, but still loved it. It was wonderful. Where the sky definitely meets the hills. You would be driving, and there's like hills, and it's like the sky was blue and all the clouds. It's just beautiful, and it was like, I don't know, the best way for me to describe it is the sky seemed to just come down and touch those green hills. Beautiful. But anyway, back to my show of oh my goodness, Pluribus, oh Lord. Anyway, y'all, it's a show by Vince Gilligan. Oh my gosh, now I'm like, what are we watching it on? I think we're watching it on, I actually had to get a subscription for the Apple TV. Yeah, I think, yeah, that's what it's on. So, it's worth it. Watch it. And then if you have to, maybe get a few more good shows in there, I don't know. I guess there's some other good ones on there. And then if you have to, you can cancel your subscription. Or, what do they say, like, freeze your subscription until Pluribus comes on again. But yeah, so I think I'm almost done with this Biggie Band. I think I will finish it out and be done with it, move on to these and finish these out. I have this huge, like, I'm not lying, like this big Biggie Band to get to, so I wanted to finish this one up. I'll finish these up, and then I will move on to that big one, because that will be fun. So, and I have slime to unbox, but I won't get to that slime probably till after Christmas. So anyway, thank you everyone. I really appreciate all of you so much. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.